This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further.
Hey, hey!
Hey, I'm supposed to do that.
No, both of you just shut the hell up. Oh yeah, and don't forget the intro music. And cut over, and 2 and a 3 and a 4. What's going on, freaks? Yep, I was looking at the Fort Worth cases again. I stumbled upon one that it seemed familiar. Then I looked at it again, and then I just started putting it together. But the last time I talked about it, it was kind of a short thing, but I don't know. Thought I would just go over it again. And then it sort of led to another case in the news. And I don't know who the hell that guy is. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Oh, thanks, Kit Kat. All right. But really what I want to know is what's going on in the Morphew case. God, I've been sweating bullets all day just waiting for an update of some sort. In the Morphew case, maybe a search update or just something. God. Does anybody have any information for me? Does anybody know what he ate yesterday? Because I heard that he had strawberries and zucchini. You might ask, how do you know that? Well, there's people digging through the toilets at his house for any possibilities that he may have eaten something. Well, I sure hope he's eaten something, by God, but I'm joking, Jackie Blue. I really couldn't give two shits right at this point. It's like, if you give me an actual update, I'll look into it. It's just unbelievable, the sub-mining that's going on with that case. Unbelievable. It's like, God, every single day. Yeah, that's right. I think it was. I think you're right about that, Kubi. It was a mountain lion swimming in the pool wearing a helmet. There you go. Yeah. I mean, every day I keep getting these notifications. Morphew update! And then small print. Well, not really an update. I just thought I would. Now, we do have an update, though. However, a real one, like an actual update, everybody. One that actually exists. In the Fauna Frey case, Left Undone sent me an email. It was an article she sent me. And it's exactly where we were looking. I mean, it was funny because, I don't know, we weren't screen sharing or anything, but we were just talking about it. Here, let me switch over.
Hello, Grey and Super Freaks, waving hand, medium light skin.
Thanks, Dadio. Oh, I just cut you off. Said, hello, Grey and Super Freaks, medium light skin, and then poo-poo, poo-poo. What was it going to say for the turds? Man, I really wanted to hear that part, darn it. Let me turn it on this thing. Yeah, Streamlabs. Just got to put it on the middle one. All right. So there you go. Should be on there for you guys. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So in the let me get that article out a second. Yeah, so I posted this in the comment section of my channel. But this vehicle right here, on Wednesday afternoon, someone noticed a vehicle that matched the description of Frey's blue Jeep Grand Cherokee. Someone noticed a vehicle. Okay. Deputies responded to the area, which the sheriff's office said was on Reuben Mountain Road, a few miles past Grave Creek Boat Landing. Now, one thing I don't really know is, you know, I guess it depends on what direction they were coming. But the thing is I think I got it right here, because Reuben Mountain is right up here. So this has to be it. It said, yeah, so Reuben Mountain Road, a few miles past Grave Creek Boat Landing. So this is exactly where I was showing you guys yesterday, right? Because remember, down here is where the Black Bar Lodge is. And then there's that road that I was showing you guys. Remember, we were actually, I mean, it was it's pretty cool, because we were literally right here at one point looking down, and I told you guys, hey, look, you can see the path on the other side of the creek. I don't remember exactly where I think it was probably like more like right there. Probably like right in this area where you can definitely see down. Or it might have been a little bit further back. But you can see there's a little trail down on the other side down there. But it's exactly where we were looking yesterday. Because this is kind of made sense, you know. You're disappearing way up in the mountain. Like it goes right down there. But I think that path that you could see is a little bit farther back that way. So this is the side of the road that we're on. And I guess it was a few miles up this road. However, it's not called Reuben Mountain Road. It's BLM Road 34-8-1. Okay? But there isn't any other roads out here. And that's the only road that you can say it's 3 miles by. This is Galice Road, so it can't be that one. So it has to be this one. And Reuben Mountain, if I just type in Reuben Mountain Road, it doesn't actually go to, let me just type in Reuben Mountain. Yeah, see, it's right there. So that's the only thing that really makes sense. That this road right here, 3 miles past the boat ramp. And then you can get up here. See how you can keep following it up? And then eventually it makes it up to Mount Reuben up here. But see, they're just BLM roads. Hey, look at that. The three... well, I was about to say Three Stooges, but the Mod Squad is all sitting right there. Look at that. Zobi, Kubi, and Penny. Or Jenny. Whichever one you want to pick. Yeah, it's really cool up here. It's amazing that they did Street View up until a certain point. See, they stopped it about right there, which is interesting because it's just a little bit past where her car was found. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of little turnouts on here, like not that one. That's actually another road there. I'm not sure what that does actually. Looks like it kind of just meanders around in that direction. But at that point, if you're going up to the mountain, you would go that way. But this is, you know, when somebody says a few, what number pops into your head? I always think of 3, right? It could be 2, it could be 4, whatever. So I'm just picking 3 miles. They didn't say it was 2.5 miles. How about that? Is that good for you? Okay. Yeah, well, a 2 would be a couple, right? Like, hey, a couple miles up the road. So I don't know. But up in this area, there's a lot of little places that you could pull over. And it's interesting that it took so long for somebody to notice it there. I almost feel like, since she went missing in June, and this is the time of year that people would drive up here and hike, it almost feels like somebody put it there later. But they do say that the car's been there for at least a month, which, a month ago, though, was only, what is it? It would have been August 25th. She went missing in June. But I guess it could have been there that whole time, right? But look at all these little places you can pull off on the side here. But why didn't somebody notice it earlier? This seems like a pretty well traveled. It's even paved. And if you're going to go up hiking up here, 3 miles isn't very far. It just feels like, or a few miles isn't very far. It seems like somebody would have seen it at some point, right? What do you guys think about that? Let's see. Let me see if I can find one comment related to this. Yeah, don't see any. Yeah, well, somebody said that they went up there and they noticed it. Okay, so the troopers were probably, after being spotted, they drove up there. Because it would have said in the article that the state trooper found it. See, it says, on Wednesday afternoon, someone noticed a vehicle that matched the description of Frey's blue Jeep Grand Cherokee. Deputies responded to the area. Okay, so it wasn't an officer who went there and found it. It was somebody else who called the officer, who then went and found it there. Hey, thanks. What's her face? Yeah, and then what's interesting about that, one penny short of
Here's
the,
one comment
but that still
related.
counts. That counts. Thank you. There you go. I'll put in the virtual version of that. See, what's interesting is, you remember the Sean, the guy that we talked to? That's almost exactly what he said that they do out there. That they take a vehicle, some of these meth people, and they'll just park it somewhere at some point and tell people not to touch it. But what was weird is, what was originally reported was that it seemed like she left in a hurry. But how did they know it was her, or however it worked? Because if it was only a month ago, that means she was still alive like a month ago. Well, that was somebody. It doesn't say that in this article here, but that's what somebody that actually heard the sort of inside information. I think. Well, let's see. What does it say? The vehicle was locked and Miss Frey was not located. Investigators believe, yeah, I think it does say it, but believe that Frey's Jeep was parked there at least a month, if not longer. Okay, so at least a month. So I guess they're including the time where she could have left it there. But don't you find it strange that nobody saw it, or doesn't remember? Oh yeah, there was that blue Jeep. All the people living in that area. You'd think there'd be people driving up there often to go hiking. It's really a cool drive. It's the summertime. I just think something's a little strange there with this. And I don't know how they can. I mean, I think they can maybe tell just based on the ground and environment that the car's been there, and the dust maybe collected on it, things like that. But, yeah, it's pretty strange. But remember, Sean was saying that out there, people will, and also the guy at the Black Bar Lodge, he was talking about the same thing. It's just a really dodgy, shady area. So if that's an area that she didn't know was dangerous and went there to get away from it all, let's say, She did it in, like, it'd be like going into, you know, a really crappy neighborhood in New York to just take a walk, you know. Forget it. It's not good. So on Thursday, search and rescue teams covered the area around the Frey's vehicle was found. Even with the help, it must have been really hard searching because it's really steep all around out there. I mean, just take a look at anywhere you go here. It's pretty brutal. You know, so if the car was found there, that's where you're going. That's where search and rescue is going, right down there, right? But you can see this is a place where somebody might just pull over a car and leave it there, but then it would have been seen a long time ago. It's also strange that it just hasn't been found yet. Even if, let's say it's been there for a month and a half, it just shows you that nobody was doing their job looking for her. This is such a basic place, you know, just, I don't know. It just seems like somebody would have been driving around. Or how about this? They didn't get enough information out for people to say, wow, I just saw that vehicle. Like, how come there wasn't posters? You know, I'll tell you what, in the Allison Watterson case, you know, Misty would have made sure that there was posters right around this area, all over the place, no matter what. At the entrance of this road over here, all over the place, up and down these roads, all around. Every one of these main roads, anywhere near here, she would have put signs around. And it's just something doesn't feel right about this one. One thing that's a little bit disappointing is the you know, sort of the behavior of her friends that are, quote, helping with the whole thing. They're just trying to be too micromanaging of the information that's put out. Really, it's just not how you do it, okay? I can see why maybe now it's taken so long. You know, it's just like when I was I knew, based on what Left Undone was telling me, because she lives in that area. She said that it was near, sort of around by this boat ramp. That's what we were talking about. It didn't say it was at the boat ramp, just somewhere in this general area, and that's exactly the road that we were looking at on the show yesterday. Okay, so, and again, that's because it's just logical, right? All right, hey, look at that. Max Crew agreed with me on something. God dang, it's a freak. I'm just kidding. We agree most of the time. Yeah, but literally, she told me, the friend, oh, the car is it was found in Grants Pass. And I immediately, right then, I knew she was just making up bullshit just because she was told not to say where the car was found. I just said, how about you just give me a general area? Well, I'd have to know the area. Well, I'll tell you what, it's nowhere near Grants Pass. Grants Pass is down here, and this is way up here. And she knew the area, she just didn't want to say it. And I don't know, just felt like it's pretty lame. And it's like, well, yeah, I'll be happy to do an interview, I just can't tell you. Well, what are we going to talk about now then? You know, or just another spin on the relationship with everybody. I actually think Sean, even though he doesn't, you know, he tried to backpedal when he was confronted with it with family, I think he was telling the truth. I actually think that she did tell him exactly what she said he did. Okay? Or she told him exactly what he said she did. Okay? I totally agree with him. I not agree because I don't know, but I believe him that he was telling the truth. Hey, William Zambrano. Yeah, right. We don't know, Thor Groot, Sweet Rabbit. We don't know if anybody did anything to her at all. You're right, Thor Groot Rabbit. Yep, she could have fallen, yep, and mountain lions could have gotten her. She could have rolled all the way down to the river, got washed downstream. We just don't know at this point. And nobody said anything about that, but it is a shady area based on everything that everybody said. 3 people said that. Okay? It's not a good place. Especially this whole road right here. I hope she's still out there, because she chose to drive the Jeep because it didn't have GPS on it. She had burner phones, and she's probably out there just hiding, or, not probably. I'd say there's a chance she is out there just doing her own thing. Hiding isn't the right word. It's just like, I don't know how great of a camper she would be. Could she really make it out on her own out in that area, a rugged area like that for 2 months? I don't know. Or 3 even. That doesn't sound right either. So, yeah. Roasting marshmallow. Yeah, she could be taking a breather from it all. That's kind of what we were saying again about in that other case of what's her face. I've tried to forget her name quickly. So I've done a good job at that. It doesn't come out. We thought the same thing. Yeah, well, we were thinking that same thing with Madison Bell, right? Yeah, we didn't. We were thinking the same thing in that case. So that didn't happen. This one seems more like a possibility, having all the family members passing away and just being stressed out, not being happy with their own father, if you are to believe what Sean said. So it has more of a chance. Madison Bell, we just didn't know. That's what it seemed like a possibility when you saw that she intentionally left. And then she's living in this home with her parents and everything. Yeah, so it just had a feeling of that. It sort of looked like it was going to be that, and it turned out she's just, I don't know, user of people. I don't know what the hell you call it. It was ridiculous. Yep. So, anyways, that's the update on that one. Don't know exactly where it was found. If somebody gave me one photograph of them finding the Jeep, I could find it on that road, unless it's past where the street view was. And if you grab this little icon, you can see it stops. The blue line stops right there. It's always funny. I think it's insane that Google Earth even went that far up that road. But then right in this spot, they said, yeah, this is getting a little dodgy. So the Google Earth guy drove right over to this, or gal, sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, to this area right here. Probably just did a little U-turn and then went back down. That's really beautiful up there, right? See, it doesn't go any further. And see, look, there's people. Let's see what this says right here. Fire season in effect. Yeah. So that must be this is a shot from May 9th. Well, the street view. Let's see what the street view was. Hold on. I have a feeling that's going to be like in August or July or something. Nope. June 2012. So this is pretty old, but pretty clear. All right. Well, anyways, I'm going to switch over now to that cold. Well, it was cold until 2019. We talked about it once on a show, but I wanted to go back over. It was in Fort Worth. So, yeah, I'm sure it's not hardly any different at all. So this is Julie Fuller. And this is in Fort Worth, Texas. And Julie Fuller went missing first, but then I don't think it was even in the paper at that point. But it says the nude body of a young girl was found early this afternoon alongside the Trinity River in the 200 block of Handley Elderville Road. So let's see if that's still there. 200 Handley dash Edderville. Oh, God, I have cap locks on. That's always good. Yeah, so right in this area. Now I'm going to check and see what it looked like just in 1995. Yep, so there was no buildings even on this side in 1995. And this is 83 when this happened. So right in this area. Okay, Fort Worth police said the body could not be immediately identified, but estimated her age to be about 10. Homicide Sergeant J.O. Rutledge said the body was found shortly after noon by 3 men who had stopped near a bridge over the river to eat lunch. Well, let's see. So they're saying 200 block of Hadley Elder. Where's the bridge? Near a bridge to eat lunch. That's Hadley. I wonder if it's more like in this area. Or right there, even. Yeah, it could have just been that they drove over and... Because I'm at the 200 block right here. Let's see what happens if I put 100. Does it move? Okay, that's 100. So I guess that could be... If that's 100, where does... Let's see where 300 is. Ah, I see. So I put 300 in that same spot. So I'm going to move this. I don't have any idea. I think it's more over here, but I don't know. 200 or 300 might land on the same spot, and the 100 was back here. So I'm going to actually say it was near this, right here, actually. Okay. And that makes more sense near a river, right? Rutledge said there were several bruises and scratches on the young girl's neck, but there were no readily visible signs of foul play. No clothing was found near the body, he said. There are no visible puncture wounds, Rutledge said. So she was just strangled. The body of an 11-year-old Arlington girl who recently immigrated with her family to the United States from England was found along the bank of the Trinity River. Hey, thanks, Jeff55. Was found along the Trinity River in northeast Fort Worth Tuesday. So I guess it was found near the river, her body. Julie Fuller, daughter of Colin and Janet Fuller, was last seen by her parents Monday night when she walked from the family room at the Kensington Motor Lodge. Let's see if that's still there. Oh, that gives you the address. 1220 West Division. All right. And there you go. It looks like it's still a motor lodge. I don't know if it's called that anymore, but... And what's really sad is she's only 11 years old. The family was staying at this lodge, and they were just signing papers for their house after immigrating from England on that very same day, on June 27th, the same day that she went missing. And I mean, what a freaking nightmare this is. It's so embarrassing too, you know. It's like embarrassing as a country. You know, you get these people coming over looking for the great American better life. You know, this is the best country out there, but it just makes you look so horrible when, you know, you come here and then, you know, just out of nowhere, your daughter gets taken and murdered while you're just waiting to sign papers. It's just that. God, it's so embarrassing to me. That's the kind of stuff that just makes you go, ah, crap. You know, like that Australian pitcher that came here as an exchange student. He's just walking down the street, and then these three black teenagers saw him walking by, and they go, "Hey, let's go," and they just went over and killed him just for fun. Then they went back, and they just thought it was fun, And I'm saying that, that's the description of the story. You don't go, "Oh, wait, look at that, look at that." You can come up with other stories too. The killer of this guy was a white guy, of her was a white guy. Okay, but it's just one of those things like you feel, and just like in that Australian story where you had the girl, the Palestinian immigrant, who was killed by the local Australian guy. It must be so embarrassing for those people. I don't know. I feel like that, anyways. I feel like, God, we were opening our arms up, and you come to this country, and you're just looking for something better than where you were, and the first thing you get to see is your 11-year-old daughter just, murdered by some psycho. Julie Fuller, daughter of Colin and Janet Fuller, was last seen by her parents Monday night when she walked from the family room at the family's room at the Kensington Motor Lodge and Apartments, 1220 West Division in Arlington. Police said she was taking out trash. I mean, just something so simple. Just taking out trash, Yeah. But he's just in one of these rooms. There it is, 1220. Going out, taking trash out. And just in that little bit of time. Wow. Fort Worth Homicide Sergeant J.O. Rutledge said an autopsy will be performed to determine the cause of death and whether the girl was sexually assaulted. He said the nude body had scratches on the neck, back, and buttock. So that was probably from dragging, I would imagine. I wonder if that was post-mortem or... no clothing was found near the body, he said. Rutledge said there were no obvious marks to indicate how the girl died. The body was discovered in high weeds by 3 men who had stopped near a bridge to eat lunch. They spotted the body about 30 feet from the west fork of the river near the 200 block of Hadley Etterville Road. Tarrant County medical investigator R.O. Parkey said it appears that the girl's body may have been tossed down the steep embankment. Several people told police that a few hours before the girl's body was discovered, they had seen a girl matching her description arguing with a man inside a parked station wagon. When the people yelled at the man, he sped off with the girl. I bet that was somebody totally different, in my opinion. Police reported a suspicious pickup in the area just before the discovery of the body. See, that was a station wagon. I just think that was something totally different. Somebody just, trying to maybe insinuate themselves into the case. Fort Worth police identified the body of the girl, who was about 5 feet tall with shoulder length, reddish blonde hair, weighed about 70 pounds, and had freckles late Tuesday afternoon, and notifying Arlington police. Family members could not be reached Tuesday night. And I mean, she's just such a, cute little girl that was just going to start their life here in the United States, right? And it's just, God, it makes me so angry. Every time there's any kid, really. See, people wonder why, and I think girls and young women they're so much more vulnerable physically a lot of times to the predators, right? I mean, if you can point to a case where of it being common at all, where females go out and attract little boys into their vehicles, then kill them, strangle them to death, and throw their nude bodies on the side of the road, let me know, okay? Let me know when you see that one, okay? Now, I know men do it to boys also. I just discussed that last night in the New York case. Yeah. Fort Worth police say they have no suspects and few clues. I think this might be a similar article. Let me see if that was similar to the... I think it is. So let me go to the next one here. Yeah. The family of Julie Fuller, the 11-year-old native of England who was found slain Tuesday in Fort Worth, is holding up as well as can be expected. Fuller, who brought his family to Arlington from England. So, I mean, how guilty do you think he feels? You know, he's... Jesus. Last month, said he expects to hold his daughter's funeral in Arlington, but that he did not know whether he, his wife Janet, and their 13-year-old son would return to England later. The father, answering inquiries in a low voice, said a time for a funeral had not been set, and that he didn't know if any of his family would be able to come from England. Let's see. A friend of the family said Wednesday she was a princess compared to other children. She was a sweet, gentle little girl who loved little girl things, teddy bears and dolls, said Linda McClure. She was a unique child. Since she had just come from England, she was a little more polite than other children, McClure said. She was an all-American girl. The family is staying at McClure's house in Arlington. The family had been staying at the Kensington Motor Lodge at 1220. We just showed that. McClure said the Fuller family moved to Arlington from Essex, England. Yes. Just reading this makes me bummed out. McClure said the Fullers were looking for a house to buy in Arlington, Fort Worth. Police Detective Sergeant J.O. Rutledge said detectives spent Wednesday talking to residents of the Motor Lodge and people in the area where the body was found about 30 feet from the west fork of the Trinity River near the 200 block of Handley Elderville Road. Police said a station wagon carrying a man. I don't think that has anything to do with it. The station wagon. Let's see. Now we're moving 3 months later. So they're still saying it's unsolved. Dreaming of a new life in the United States, the Colin Fuller family moved from Essex, England to Arlington in late May 1983. They were staying at the Kensington Motor Lodge. On the night of June 27, 1983, as the family was getting ready for an outing, 11-year-old, I mean, just think out what happened here. Like, they're just going to go out, maybe go get some pizza. Who the hell knows what they're going to get? And she's just going out to take trash out. And that one moment changed their whole life. They didn't go out to do whatever they were going to do. It just turned into a freaking nightmare, okay? Finding one dumpster full, she walked... Oh, so here it goes. 11-year-old Julie carried trash from the family unit to a dumpster. Finding one dumpster full, she walked with a young friend to a second dumpster in back of the building. The friend left her moments later. I mean, why, if you're just dumping trash, aren't you just throwing it in? And that apparently was the last time Julie Fuller was seen alive by a friendly face. Kensington residents formed search parties or parents searched with police until well into the night. Julie's nude body was found the next morning along the bank of the Trinity River. Yeah. It seemed that's just such a unfortunate everything right there. The one trash can was filled, so that means if we were going to look at this, I mean, I like when they have these 3D versions. So there must be like a trash can, maybe right there even. So she probably, maybe there's one out in the front here, and then went back to this one, perhaps. Yeah, there's a dumpster right there. It's hard to know for sure. There could have been which unit they were in and that kind of thing. But another dumpster over here. Yeah, so she had to walk a little bit further, but it's weird because the friend was with her, and You know, isn't it just like you just throw it into the garbage and turn around and start walking? Why would the other one take off a little early? You know, I don't really. What do you mean early? It's not like this long. I don't know. It's probably just the way it was written. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. It's actually irrelevant, to be honest with you. Okay, so then in 1986. So this is another story that happened out here. Fort Worth firefighters battling a grass fire Wednesday night discovered the battered and burned body of a preteen girl. The body had not been identified early today, although Dallas police and FBI agents initially believed the dead girl might be 9 years old, who was kidnapped Saturday in Dallas. Authorities later determined the body is not hers. The Tarrant County Medical Examiner Office has determined it was not Christy Proctor, said Dallas police spokesman Ed Spencer. That determination ended Dallas's involvement in the case, he said. Although the body was severely burned, one Fort Worth investigator said it is recognizable. Efforts were underway today to identify the girl. Firefighters were called in to the area shortly after 11 p.m. when a man stopped at Fire Station 20 and reported a grass fire in the 4600 block of Randall. Let's see where that is, because they said it was kind of near here. So 4600 Randall Mill Road. Yeah, it's not tremendously far away, but it's not close either. So grass fire. The area is about 100 yards east of East First Street. We were just out there putting out the fire and ran up on it. The body was next to a burning log. We reached over to put some water on the log, and there she was, Pape said. It looked like they poured gas on the body and set it on fire. The resulting grass fire burned an area of about 30 to 60 feet. Pape said the body was burned so badly that he could not tell how the girl died. Police later said they let's see. They found an injury to the back of her head, apparently caused by a blunt instrument. She was nude except for tennis shoes. Police said they found a pool of blood about 6 feet from the body, and it appeared the girl had been dragged next to the log. Lynn Everett, a Fort Worth police missing persons clerk, said detectives asked for reports on 10 missing girls 10 to 17 years old to aid the identification. She said the dead girl is white, 11 or 12 years old, 5'2", weighing 80 to 90 pounds. She has curly blonde, shoulder-length hair and blue eyes. Captain Ben Dumas said the grass fire was reported by 2 people besides the person who drove up to the fire station 20 at 1050 Wood. Who gives a shit where the fire station? He said neither is a suspect in the girl's death. We're awaiting the medical examiner's ruling and identification to proceed further in the investigation. We've got to have a definite direction for our investigation. So over here it says, let's see, the friend Christy had been visiting, had walked her about half. Oh wait, this is that part right here. So this is Christy Diane Proctor, another case. Has that one ever been solved? Let me see. Don't look it up yourself, okay? I'll just do it. Christy Diane. No, I think she's still missing. Or not missing, but... or maybe she still is missing. Disappeared February 1986 while walking to her apartment in North Dallas, Texas. Her skeletal remains were found for more than 2 years. Weren't found for more than 2 years. They were located in a field in Plano, Texas in 1988. Oh, I guess they did arrest somebody in that one. Maybe. I'll have to look into that one later, but, interesting. There's just so many barbarians out there. Don't you get that when we just go through this stuff? You know? Yeah, you go through these things, and a lot of them aren't even the same killers right around the same time. It's just a lot of wackos. You know, I was talking today, or messaging with, on our podcast today. We had Sarah Kaling. You ever seen her shows? She's been on some specials on TV.
250 people in chat. Common people, hit that like button.
Yes,
Thanks,
hit that like
Frey
button.
and Freak family.
Yeah, she's always on HLN. She might come on our show at some point, pretty soon, and discuss a case. But and then I might actually end up. I might even. Well, I'll tell you at the time. But I was, messaging with her. But I was thinking, because we agree on the exact same things about how they don't cover prostitutes and minorities at all, at all in the media. We're talking about that. But here's one thing that I wonder if, wouldn't this be weird if this is sort of this unwritten, known thing that goes on out there? Is, you see, serial killers need to satisfy their desires, right? In some way. And I don't mean by reading a magazine or something. Okay, so serial killers need to satisfy their desires. So if you got rid of prostitution completely, they would be killing the it's just such a weird way to look at it, but she didn't say that. This is just something I'm wondering myself. Is it possible that society, there's in the upper echelon of law enforcement somewhere, they're like, yeah, we need to keep prostitution out there, to feed the needs of some of these absolute psychos, because they're choosing to be in a dangerous profession, right? And then it protects all the rest of us. I mean, it's really crazy, right? But just think about it. So, like, when you get these serial killer trucker types that kill all these prostitutes, well, maybe then they would result to kidnapping other vulnerable people, like kids walking to school or something. No, not like a ring. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, in a way, they sort of don't mind. I don't know how to say it. It's hard to say it in a way that doesn't sound not tactful. I'm just trying to say it's almost like they're bait to keep the serial killers off of the sort of, they consider to be normal society. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. That's just what I've said, the exact same thing that Fiber Sleuth just typed in at the exact same time. Right, yeah, sort of like that, Jenny Penny, yeah. I mean, a little bit. I mean, although the difference is people can go fishing wherever, and it's not, a little bit like that. It's close. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't know. Yeah, it's more like they just kind of looked away. I don't know if obviously they arrest prostitutes and things like that. But if you completely eliminated it, where would some of these serial killers go? And it's shitty. It's a shitty way because they don't deserve any of that either. Right? Yeah. Anyways, just something I thought of. Thought I'd bring it up with you guys because we talk about all kinds of crap. Yeah, look the other way, yeah. Anyways, there's the nope. The nope from Max Crew. Yes, the absolute one and only. Let's see. Arrest them, and a few hours later, yeah, they're right back out there. So they're arrested because it's illegal. But it's strange, because if there weren't any prostitutes out there, serial killers would be... Okay, well... Well, why don't you say yep, not nope. Nope is a disagreement, right, Max Crew? Right. Let's see. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Yee-hoo! Max Crew. I tell you. Anyways, let's look at this. It says, well, this is right here. It brings up Fuller. The girl Julie Fuller had recently immigrated from England with her family. When her family disappeared June 27th from an Arlington motel. So they kind of brought her up in the same article with this girl that was burned here. All right, and then dead girl, a mystery to police still. Let's see how close we have it right here compared to that map. Yeah, apparently like right in the middle of this field. I bet you if I go back to 95, that might not even be there. That's close. Let's see. Yeah, apparently it was in the middle of a field over here, but this is 95. Who knows? Yeah, look at that. Totally different. I wonder what that was. Looks like a mini Pentagon or something. Okay. There are a lot of things police still don't know about the girl whose body was found in a burning field in East Fort Worth. They don't know her exact age. They don't know her name. They don't know whether she's been sexually assaulted, and they don't know how she got there. What they do know is that she was stripped and stabbed to death, and that her death should come as no surprise given the danger posed to children on the city streets. Investigators Thursday night were still poring over reports of the missing persons to try to identify the girl. Yeah, so they just couldn't figure out who she was. Thursday afternoon, 35 officers searched the field but found no significant new evidence. We hoped it would turn up something, but so far it hasn't. The body of the girl found late Wednesday was found in the thick brush a few feet from a dirt road leading to an electric plant. Huh. See, Fuller was abducted from Arlington and found dead. So now they're talking about Fuller again in this one. 1983, her killing also remains unsolved. The body of the girl found late Wednesday. Right. So there's a dirt road out here. Wonder if it was like out here or something like that. Or maybe even right there. We're not going to get to know. Meanwhile, Thursday autopsy determined that the dead girl was not 9 years old, Christy Diane Proctor, so they knew it wasn't her. Okay, and then we're going to move forward to the 24th, and now we have an identification and a suspect in that murder. The man charged with abducting and killing a Hearst woman has served 2 terms in state prison. And I think this is the first one. Let me go to the other one first. Man charged with capital murder. A Fort Worth construction worker has been charged with capital murder in the death of a Hearst resident, Tammy Livingston. Fort Worth police Sunday formally charged Richard W. Jones, 25, of 3823 Avenue H in the slaying which occurred Wednesday. Jones remained in Tarrant County Jail on Sunday night in lieu of $500,000 bail. His girlfriend, Jelena Kamalander, 18, was being held on suspicion of forgery and tampering with evidence. Police were preparing charges to be filed. Kamalander, who also lives at 3823 Avenue H, was in the Tarrant County Jail in lieu of $50,750 bail on the forgery and evidence tampering counts, but $500,000 bond against her for investigation of capital murder. Swan would not say what the evidence police suspect Kamalander tampered with. We can't comment as to the specifics of her involvement. Livingston, 27, disappeared after going shopping. So what's weird is the girl wasn't 12 or something like that. She's 27 years old. I mean, don't you think that's a weird mistake to be making? What do you think about that, Max Crew? I mean, you have this... I know the body was burned, but she's actually 27 years old, not 10 or 11 or 12. Livingston, 27, disappeared after going shopping for party supplies at Michael's store on Melbourne Road. She was stabbed to death, and firefighters discovered her burned body Wednesday night while fighting a grass fire at 4300 block of Randall Mill Road. So that's actually, this is the same one, right? Because we got the same address and everything. Livingston, fighting a grass fire in the 4300 block of, yeah. Okay, so this says 4600. Now let's see, let's move this a little bit. Same place. Yeah, it feels like that, but I don't think it is anything like that. I don't think it's a grudge. Livingston's husband reported her missing Thursday, and the Tarrant County Medical Examiner Office identified her body Friday. Hearst Police Chief Charles Hogue said Saturday that a witness saw a woman leaving Michael's store at about 7:30 p.m. A man forced his way into the car with a woman at a parking lot near the store. Doesn't this sound... I mean, see, I brought it up again because, it sort of sounds... some of these sound similar to the McClurley case, right? I mean, that's what he would do. Forced his way into the car with the woman at a parking lot near the store, the witness told police. Kamalander was arrested Thursday night on suspicion of forgery after investigators said he posed as Livingston's sister, or she did, and tried to cash one of the dead woman's personal checks. That's the 18-year-old girlfriend. Fort Worth native Jones was arrested without incident Friday night at his home. And this is him right here. Fort Worth police spokesman Doug Clark said Jones had moved from Fort Worth but returned several weeks ago with Kamalander, who is from Porter in southeast Texas. Livingston and her husband, Russell, moved to Hearst from Greensboro, North Carolina. She was a graduate of the University of North Carolina. She was a production manager for Maggie Breen Corporation. Yeah. So anyways, that's the guy right there. And then let's go to the... I think this article was after that one. Let's see. The man charged with abducting and killing a Hearst woman has served 2 terms in state prison and was on parole at the time of the slaying. Parole officials said today that Richard W. Jones, 25, had served about 2 years of a 7-year sentence for aggravated robbery with a firearm before being paroled October 2nd. Jones, a Fort Worth construction worker, was charged Sunday in the killing of Tammy Livingston, whose body was found stabbed, stripped, and burned Wednesday night in East Fort Worth. Additional charges were expected today. Police said charges would be filed against Jelena Kamalander. I wonder what else she she may have been involved with here. He had been placed on probation in 1977 for a residential burglary, and the probation was revoked in 1979 when he was convicted of theft over $200. Jones served about 2 years of a 7-year sentence when he was freed on parole in August 1981. Yeah, see, if you just let him serve his whole freaking 7 years, she'd still be alive. Lieutenant T.C. Swan would not say what evidence police suspect Collimander tampered with. Let's see where 3823 Avenue is, just for the hell of it. 3823 Avenue H. Yeah, not far from there at all. Right there. Yeah. Looks like they may have burnt that house down over all these years. See, there is a house there in 1995. You can see it. They probably said, you know, who wants to have a killer's house? How can you ever sell it, right? Yeah, see, there's definitely, let's see how far back it's still sitting there. Yeah, there it is. That's a clear picture of it, 2001, still sitting there. And then it was completely wiped out. Livingston disappeared Wednesday after going shopping for party supplies. She was stabbed to death, and firefighters discovered her burned body. See, they thought she was like 8 originally. You remember that? And yeah, okay, I think that was it. And then the beauty of it is here we go. Yay! That guy got executed for that murder. Richard Wayne Jones, 40, was executed by lethal injection on the 22nd of August, and I think that was in 2000. In Huntsville, Texas, for the murder of a 27-year-old woman. On February 1986, Tammy Livingston was abducted from a parking lot in the Fort Worth area. You know, it sort of makes you wonder about some of those other ones too now. I mean, this is exactly what we were reading about the other day. Or there's just so, see, there just could be so many people that do this shit. That's the thing. It's just ridiculous. So on the 19th of February, and guess what? Doesn't that sound interesting too? The 19th of February. You remember the other ones? They were 17th, 18th of February. Oh, man. Good. It makes everything confusing. As a matter of fact, let me pull up in the... I got it right here. Yeah, there is a... February 4th, 7th, 17th, and then Carla was like the 16th. So June Merlene Ward, she was on the 17th of February. Mildred May, that was the 67 one, that was February 4th. 73, Becky, the ones that I called about were Martin and Merlene Ward. But they're February, and then now we've got, and then Carla Walker was February 16th, I think. Wow. What are the odds? What are the odds? All right, so let's hear what the actual technical stuff is here. On 19th of February 1986, Tammy Livingston was abducted from a parking lot in the Fort Worth area. A few hours later, her body was discovered by firefighters called to a grass fire. She had been stabbed more than a dozen times, one wound slashing her carotid artery. The day after the murder, Yelena Comalander was arrested trying to pass one of Livingston's checks at a Fort Worth grocery store. She told police that her boyfriend, Richard Jones, had given her the checks at the time. Collimander, 18, was pregnant with Jones's child. Jones, then 26. Yeah, so she was pregnant, so they probably weren't she wasn't satisfying his urges, so he figured he'd just go take it out on some random person. Jones, then 26, was arrested at his home the following day. God, if she hadn't spent that check, they probably never would have caught this guy. Wrote that check, right? Police confiscated the clothes he had been wearing the day of the killing. They found 2 small spots of blood on the left leg of the jeans, which matched Livingston. Jones's fingerprint was found inside the victim's car, and he confessed to the killing to police. Jones had been previously convicted of burglary, of habituation, and 3 counts of larceny. He began serving concurrent 5-year and 7-year sentences in February 1979. He was paroled in August 1981. In September 83, he was convicted of aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon and received another 7-year sentence. He was paroled again in October 1985. Okay. So this is 86. Man, they just kept giving him break after break. During this time frame, the Texas prison system was under the supervision of U.S. District Judge William Wayne Justice, who strict population caps forced the state to release offenders early. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying there, Cristola, but okay, cool. All right. Let's see. Right, so strict prison population caps forced the state to release offenders early. Jones had been on parole for 4.5 months when Livingston was killed, and that's M-U-N-T-S. Yeah, well, just send me emails, Cristola, instead of typing in all this crap in the comments. We're doing different cases right now. I think you're being sort of disrespectful to the cases we're discussing right now. So go ahead and just send an email with your suggestions. It's really easy. Yeah. At his trial, Jones said he had nothing to do with Livingston's murder. He said that the checks had come from Walter Sellers, a friend of his sister, Brenda. He claimed that his confession to police was coerced, that they told him his girlfriend would be executed and their child would be taken by the state unless he confessed. A police officer acknowledged telling Jones this, but the next day he recanted the testimony, saying that he wasn't paying attention to the question. Jones could not explain, however, the blood on his jeans, and an eyewitness identified him as the person who abducted Livingston from the parking lot. This, plus the fingerprint and his confession, persuaded the jury to return a guilty verdict. Yeah, so it does sound like there might have been some coercion, a little bit. However, how do you explain the fingerprints and those kind of things? And the blood droplets? Yeah, of course you can just blame it on whoever the hell you want to blame it on. In July 1993, Jones was scheduled to be executed. Man, it's only about 7 years after the murder. 4 days before his execution date, he wrote a letter from death row explaining his account of the day Livingston was killed. According to Jones, he spent the day working with his father, then had dinner at home with Kamalander. His sister Brenda unexpectedly dropped by as he was getting ready for bed and asked for a ride to a friend's house. On the way, she began crying and told him that she and Sellers had robbed and killed 2 people. Okay. When they arrived, he asked Sellers, "You killed them?" And he answered, "Yes, we did." Brenda cried some more, saying they needed to bury the bodies and they needed his help because he was the only person that they could trust. Sellers showed Jones where Livingston's body was dumped and gave him the victim's possessions in return. It's amazing how, with all those years, you can come up with some crazy stories, right? I'm not saying it's like impossible, it's true, but how about all the other stuff? The fingerprints, the blood, you're using checks. I mean, give me a break, okay? Jones wrote that he deserved to be punished. Let's see. Let me read the rest of this part. Brenda cried some more, saying they needed to bury the bodies and they needed his help because he was the only person they could trust. Sellers showed Jones where Livingston's body was dumped and gave him the victim's possessions in return for his help. So, hey, if you help, here's the checks and everything. Later, Jones returned, doused the area with gasoline, and set it on fire. Jones wrote that he deserved to be punished, but not for the murder. He also wrote that he didn't believe Brenda killed Tammy Livingston. It was my understanding that she was just there. However, he also believed that, I don't give a shit what he's going to write here. A week before Jones's execution, a state district judge refused to halt it. His defense lawyers failed to persuade officials to delay the execution so DNA tests could be conducted on crime scene evidence. I'd like to see that, because we have seen cases where there's, they got the wrong guy. And we know that they've executed innocent people. I don't think they've ever proven it yet, technically. But it's happened, because so many people have been freed from death row because of DNA. And before DNA happened, that means those very same people would have been executed, right? What's a false lead, Christola? Man, you're not making a lot of sense tonight. I know it's Friday night. Maybe we should put down the sauce, huh? Oh, jeez. At his execution, Jones said, "I want the victim's family to know that I didn't commit this crime." Turning to Tammy Livingston's relatives, he said, "I didn't kill your loved one." He told the prosecutor, well, sort of interesting. He told the prosecutor, "Sharon Wilson, y'all convicted an innocent man and you know it. There are some lawyers hired that is going to prove that, and I hope you can live with it." He then expressed love to his family. Well, that's pretty weird. I mean, what if he was innocent, right? I don't think he is, but how do you explain I guess you could explain the blood droplets by being out at the scene and helping bury her. How about the fingerprints inside the vehicle? I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he is, but, It'd be interesting if they tested that DNA, right? Which is probably gone. I'm just teasing you, Christola. I don't even know. I just don't know what you're referring to. I'm confused with your comments tonight. Yep. Brenda Jones was on probation for a drug conviction at the time of the murder. She also has denied any role in the slaying. Regarding her brother's claims that she had knowledge that could have saved his life, she has refused to comment. Interesting. Yep. There's that. And then back to the Julie Fuller case. This is what came out last year. This is the part where I just kind of quickly covered it one time, but I thought I'd do it.
I'm a Verizon engineer.
Hold on.
And I'm part of the team building a
powerful 5G experience.
The cold case rape murder of 11-year-old girl has been solved after 36 years, but her accused killer isn't around to be brought to justice. The victim was Julie Fuller, who was found slain in Fort Worth in 1983 after her abduction from Arlington motel. Fort Worth police now believe the killer was James Francis McNichols, thanks to genealogical testing of DNA from the crime scene. The DNA testing tying McNichols to the crime came 15 years after his death, the station reported. Detective Thomas O'Brien told the station he would have preferred that McNichols was around so that he could be held responsible. The Arlington motel was where Julie and her family were staying after moving to North Texas from England. Let's see. Yeah. The station reported Julie disappeared as she was taking out the garbage. Her body was found the next day. I always kind of would beat myself up that maybe I should have been paying more attention and maybe not so into myself. Julie's older brother, Lee Fuller, told the station. I wonder if he was the other child that turned around. A phone in, the fact that I allowed my little sister to just wander off like that, I mean, she was just taking out the trash. Fuller, who was 13 when his sister was killed, said he was glad McNichols was dead. Just the thought of him and parents, especially having for them to go through that, facing the guy, I think would just have been horrific. He had a criminal record, but was never on the FBI radar, and his DNA was never in a database. Wow, so they just found him. James Francis McNichols. Let's see, let me just look him up in there. And don't forget, everybody, just a cup of coffee. Just a cup of coffee. Still building up for the end of the month. Say no to droughts. James Francis McNichols. Yeah, I don't see him. Maybe that's not right. Let me try that again. Okay, that's an article on that same thing. Yeah, they use Parabon nanolabs too. Hey, thanks, Kevin Brown. What was a rumor? What are you talking about? You looked what up and it was a rumor. See, I still don't know what you're talking about. That's hilarious. There's no closure there. I wonder if there's any. There's got to be some other reference to this guy. Somewhere. Or maybe they're just really minor offenses. I like back in the day, every single crime was listed in the paper. So you'd see like every single just minor crime listed in the paper for everybody. So you can find every single one of their things that they did. Thanks, Jackie Blue. All right. Oh, we had Jackie Blue and Kevin Brown and and Doris on PayPal and Maureen on PayPal. Thank you very much. Very cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, so interesting stories there, both of them solved. The one that really, the Julie Fuller one really bothers me a lot. It's just, I mean, they all bother me, but it's just, you come over to the United States, you're just living in a motel just to get your first house from England. You brought your family here to start the dream life, and she goes out to take trash out, and some barbarian abducts her, murders her. I mean, her last few moments in America were probably the most horrific shit you could ever imagine. And it's just so embarrassing. I hate it. Ugh. Thanks, Caddy Corner. Well, what do you guys... I'm going to do something... I'm going to look through these cold cases again here. See, Fort Worth has a ton of them. Huh. That's another one with a fire in it. Pretty interesting. This is the one I did the other day. Marilyn Hartman. Thanks, Zozo! Oh yeah, I was right here, so I was going back this direction. Wow. So she was strangled to death. At 21. Let's see where that is compared to the other ones. A creek? Is that like right there, this little thing? Even look how small the write-up is too. Found deceased in a creek, 2100 East Richmond Avenue. Her death was ruled a homicide. Let's see if she shows up in the paper. Thanks, Pamela Denise. Yeah, there you go. Let's see, when was this? March 12th, oh, that says March 12th, 1982. I put 83 in there, but it even has an ad right here. This week, the Fort Worth Police Department needs your help to resolve the kidnapping, another kidnapping. It's weird how many kidnappings there are in Fort Worth, right? Witnesses saw two men parked in a white vehicle not far from Angela's apartment at 2805. Let's see. This is Angela Jones. I actually knew an Angela Jones when I was in high school and grade school. Pretty common name, right? I bet every one of you have known an Angela Jones. February 23rd, 1982. 0223. Okay, that's where her body was found, right there. And then let's see where the 2805 Love Chapel Court, where she lived. Not far away. So it's like a pretty big apartment. Almost looks like a military base, doesn't it? So she lives in one of these units. All right. So she lived in an apartment there. Somebody saw two men in a car. Angela shared a bedroom with her sister. About 2 a.m., the two men entered the house. I guess they know that they went in there, grabbed Angela. They dragged her to the hallway, and then outside, Angela's sister, who was not harmed, I wonder if she was pregnant or somehow, never heard the two men call each other by name. About that time, Angela's mother arrived home and saw the white vehicle described by witnesses leave in a hurry. Neither it nor Angela was seen again until 17 days later, when Angela's body was found in a small creek near the 2100 block of Richmond. She had been drowned. Although this doesn't say that, it says asphyxiation. Does that count? I mean, I guess that means you can't breathe. Although you'd think they would say drowning, right? Asphyxiation means you're cutting off the air supply. Maybe they didn't know at that time. So let me go back to October now of 1982. See if they even mentioned it. Now, how about November 1982? Yeah, and see, that's what I'm talking about right there. Absolutely nothing. Oh, but let's put a Crime Stoppers out there. That'll appease everybody. Doesn't that suck? You know. I mean, what made the other case that we just talked about any different? October 18th. Yeah, see, they're all the same, Crime Stopper ad, that's it. And then, let's see, 1984. That's not related. That's not related. Nothing. 1985 to 2000. Yeah. Okay, so this right here supports exactly what I've told you guys 1,000 times. No articles at all. Nobody covered it. And well, here, let's try something different. Let's instead of Fort Worth, if I just had Texas in there. '82, Texas. Ah, Jesus. Oh, okay, here we go. Not sure why this one... Wait a minute. What year was this death? Hold on a second. Yeah, on March 12th, 1982. And then this is... Oh, I wonder if that was my problem. Maybe I had the wrong... No, I just said 1980... So this is 1982. Maybe I went too far into the year. Okay, good. Hey, there you go. They did cover it. Thank God. Let's check this one out. Oops. So this is April, and they said March 12th. So let me go. This one's April 12th. Let me try March 1982. I think I have the wrong month and everything. Amazing. All right. So I see a March 7th. That's right there. Good job, Texas. All right. You know, Texas, I guess they did do pretty good, because remember the other day there was all kinds of coverage. So maybe Texas was a little different. All right, body of girl identified. The body of 17-year-old girl found last Friday had been identified as Angela Linnell Jones. One thing that is true, the story doesn't keep lingering for that long, though, like the other ones do. Abducted from her family apartment February 23rd, authorities said Tuesday. Mark Grouse, Tarrant County Deputy Medical Examiner, said a lack of dental and fingerprint records had delayed identification. Tuesday's findings were based on spinal x-rays. The body of the Dunbar High School junior was found partly submerged in shallow water at noon Friday near 2100 East Richmond Avenue. So I think that is the... You know, that little tiny... Let me just move this. I think it's actually right here in that. Because I think that that's a little tiny thing of water, maybe. And it could be something right here, too. Let me look. Were those flowers I just saw there? What do you think that is right there? That's weird. Look at this thing. And no, those aren't people. That's not a head and a shirt and pants, okay? That's what you get on Harvey Carroll's channel. Oh, digital DNA, everybody. That's a head and that's a shirt and those are pants. See the legs sticking out there? Oh, and look at right there. There's a side of somebody, an arm sticking out, a maroon shirt, and then they're running sideways. It's really strange how they're running sideways. And then we got the... I think that's either clothes or some sort of, you know, flowers or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell just by looking at it. And that, those clothes would have been right there. I wonder where that shallow... Let's go back to 1995. And then maybe a different... Let's see if we can find something around... Okay, is that a little creek maybe coming through there? How about in March? We need to find something in March. Okay, there's March right there. Yeah, it could be like right over here. I don't really see a lot of water around. But that's the correct address. East Richmond Avenue. So they said the 200 block, right? No, 2100. So let's do 2200 East Richmond Avenue. And then that's 2100. That's it. So that means it's in between, in this area. So if it's in the 2100 block, that means it's almost like right in here. Although there's a little bit of a creek right over here. See that? Let me go back again. Who knows, man? Who knows? At the time, officials said they had few clues in the case. About 3 weeks earlier, 16-year-old Cynthia K. Jones told police she had seen two men abduct her sister from their apartment at 2805 Love Chapel Court early in the morning on February 23rd. Hey, guess what? Another February 23rd. Another abduction. She said the men carried her sister out of the bedroom after forcing open the front door. So she says February 23rd. Oh, she was found on March 12th. Isn't that weird? So another late February. She said the men carried her sister out of the bedroom after forcing open the front door to the apartment. Death results on the cause of death should be ready Friday. We had a hard time trying to find something to match our findings with, Krause said. He declined to estimate because she was pretty well decomposed after 3 weeks. Thanks, Kubi. There it is. The Mod Squad. Which one is Link? I think that's actually Jenny Penny's Link. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, she's very pretty. You know? Oh, are you saying if she wasn't pretty would... Ah, see, that's what happens. Yeah, this one you sort of wonder if it was a quote hit, you know? Not like the classic hit, but where she... You know, you kind of wonder if... I mean, I don't know if she was pregnant or not, but let's say she was pregnant,
light
right?
Skin tone, woman standing medium light skin tone, man standing light skin tone.
Like maybe she was pregnant, just pregnant, and then she told somebody that, and then that guy said, "Hey, we got to do something about this." Something like that. Yep, that's exactly right, Jenny Penny. That's why if it was the Charlie's Angels, the new variety, you would necessarily be Lucy Liu's character, right? Link Hayes. He was so cool. There was one episode where Link got shot, and they kept him alive. That one was kind of... That one, I always remember that one, even though I was a little bit of a kid at the time. Oh, is that what you're saying? You think those were on the side of the road? Psh, jeez. I thought you were putting up one of your Mod Squad images with Link. Let's see. Test results on the cause of death. We had a hard time trying to find it out. Brenda Brown, the girl's mother, said she thought police were reluctant to pursue the case even after she led them to a suspect. They said it was a game and she staged it. Oh, because she was just missing at the time. What a joke. How insane is that? So they said, oh, she's just playing a game. Don't worry about it. She'll come back, you know. Page 2 is this? It should just be on the next page then, right? Oh, there it is. They said she'll call you when she's ready. Isn't that lame? At the time of the abduction, Miss Brown said she saw a white Cadillac dart out of the darkness into neighboring Fitza Avenue as she was coming home about 2 a.m. Miss Brown thinks the kidnappers fled with their daughter in the white Cadillac. She also says she believes police doubted the legitimacy of the case. I feel like I got no assistance whatsoever, said Mrs. Brown, an assembly worker at the explosives plant. It seems as if they didn't care. They did not listen to me. Let's see, that's so classic right there. They did not listen to me, Miss Brown said. They went by what people were saying out on the street. Miss Brown dismissed the police theory that her daughter had run away and would return. Her money and all her possessions were still here, but they said she just ran off. We did everything that we could do under the circumstances, Swan said. He said Detective C.D. Timmons, an 18-year police investigator, had been working on the case almost exclusively since the kidnapping. Bad information clouded Timmons' investigation. We had information coming in from different sources that the girl was seen at different locations, he said. They apparently had seen someone else. Miss Brown, who has 3 other children, said the abduction had forced her to move. Oh, and by the way, in the other case, one of the sad elements in the Julie Fuller case is that the parents actually moved back, I think, let's see, in like November that year, back to England. So that's the part that just like, geez, they came here to start a better life with their family. Their daughter gets killed, and then they just go, you know what, screw it. And they moved back to England. You know, that's, again, how embarrassing is that shit? Well, if you realize you're ADD, Charlie Ann, you should just not type it in. You know what I mean? Yeah, doesn't that work? It's like saying, hey, everybody, look. I've got ADD. Oh, wait, you could have went like this. Nothing. I'm just teasing you. I don't care. Plus, I don't really believe in ADD or ADHD. What I think it is that your minds think quicker than other people, and you get bored easily. So you need quicker stimulation than other people. It means you could learn at probably twice the rate as anybody else. They just didn't recognize that when you were in school, so you had to listen to this idiot. Open your books. Now turn to page 27. Peggy Sue, would you start reading now? Thank you. The little boy jumped over the moon and thought, oh, God. Oh, look at that. Michelle Nicholas just sent me to jail. Of course, you guys will leave me there the entire time. I know, I believe what I just said, Charlie Ann. I think I suffered from a little bit of that too. I remember in class just getting distracted easily because it was so freaking boring. You know what I mean? It was the most boring shit that there ever was. I mean, somebody literally... look, we have 531 people watching. Hey, I don't even know why there's 531 people watching, but hey, I'll take it. All right, so for all the trolls out there, hit the dislike button. For the rest of you, hurry up and hit the like button because we've only got 113. That's ridiculous. All right. Yes, so hit the... Oh, there's Lee D saying not bail. Man, that's so nice. All right, hit the like button, 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 20, 25, 30, 30, sir, 25, and you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Not bail.
Not bail. Come on, hit the damn like button. I don't even really care. To be honest with you, don't hit it if you don't want it, okay? I don't, to be honest, it doesn't help me whatsoever, okay? Everyone's like, oh, hit the like, it's really going to help. No, it doesn't do shit, okay? What helps is putting the name Morphew in the title, and I'm about ready to do that. So hold on a second. I'm going to put in, not talking about the Morphew case, but we are talking about the cold case of Julie Fuller that was actually solved in 2019. Yeah, hashtag Morphew, everybody. Let's talk about that case every second of every day for the rest of our lives. That's the only case that matters. It's so incredibly important. You know what it is about that one? Everybody's hoping to be the one person who's still covering it when it's solved, and they can say, see, I was the one. It's really bizarre. Hey, thanks, Dadio Caspi Norses Rock. Michelle Nicholas. I don't see any of you. Okay, good. Kevin Brown finally said that it was for bail, for God's sakes. Yes, did you hear it? Did you
Strip
smell the
search,
chlorine
bend
coming
over
from
and
that
cough.
room? Wait, what did that say? I thought it said doom cough. Strip search, bend over and cough. That's pretty good, Dadio Caspi Norses Rock.
Toward bail.
Towards bail. Okay, everybody. Commissary money, sweet. I'm gonna go buy myself a Snickers, Tracy. Or a couple of them, really. Maybe even a Kit Kat in honor of Kit Kat. Now, let's do a deep dive into the
Not
chlorine. Let's do a deep dive into the chlorine odor coming from that room. Now, Cindy, what level of chlorine smell was it for you?
Well, it was really strong when I came into the
Commissary
room.
money, tears of joy.
When I went into the room, it was really strong. It was so strong, I went, wow, that smells like chlorine.
Okay, but I mean, wouldn't it smell like chlorine if you, let's say, happen to go swimming or something like that?
Well, yeah, that's a good point, but, it just smelled like chlorine. Don't they use chlorine to clean up crime scenes?
Well, normally you hear of bleach, but sure, I mean, I guess chlorine might be used for something like that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, next we'll be talking about the other person who smelled the chlorine and what he thought of the relative smell of the chlorine.
Hey, I smell chlorine too. I was sent there to work, and then I went into the room and it smelled like chlorine in there. That must mean that there was a murder involved, right? Oh yeah, and I found a bunch of insurance stuff on the floor.
Yeah, that definitely means there was a murder. Wow. Yeah, maybe he did murder somebody. We just don't know at this point. Okay? I guess we'll just wait till the end. And then later he goes, did you hear Gray? He was always making fun of us. We knew it was this guy. Hey, listen. I think Barry might be involved. We've said that from the beginning. I've always been suspicious of the large, what do you call it? Reward funds that he put out. $200,000 that quick. He must have been pretty sure that nobody was going to be finding her. Okay? So that's something that was interesting to me, but who knows, I'm actually, at this point, I'm hoping Barry's innocent. That's what I hope. And that'd be great if he was innocent, right? Come on, who doesn't think it'd be great if he was innocent? Hey, Jenny, let's talk about Morphew for the next month. Every show. And it's just going to be great. Don't you understand? That's the way I can get my sub count higher. It's going to be amazing. Oh, the go-to channel for Morphew. I want her to be found, okay? Let's not kid around. Everybody wants her to be found. But you got to admit, this is getting kind of ridiculous, Like, the way people are... Yeah, well, that's why I would never do that. I think it's insane. But if I say Morphew enough, it might hit the algorithms, so maybe some other people will watch some of these other cases. We just don't know at this point. I don't think my auctioneer sound's working anymore. We've only got 131 likes. How many likes do you guys see? Is that about right? Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Don't hit it if you don't want to. Don't hit it if you don't want to. Hit the dislike button, hit the dislike button. But for God's sakes, do something. But for God's sakes, do something. Yeah, hit the dislike button too. Feel free. I mean, it's great. It all helps out. But for God's sakes, do something. She described her daughter as a conscientious student set on taking drama and earning a computer programming degree at Texas Christian University. She was always at home, Miss Brown said. She was not the type to go out and roam. So she knew what she was like, and then the police just didn't really believe her at first. Miss Brown had viewed her daughter's body on Saturday. Oh, man. After 3 weeks but the medical examiner needed more evidence to make a positive identification. So the girl's mother located an old spinal x-ray taken at Harris Hospital. Yeah, well, that's a nightmare. Okay, that's something else. Alright, so now let's go to that one. I think it was in April 1982 where they thought maybe there's another one. Yeah, right here. So let's see if we can check this one out. Deaths of 3 women stump police. Talk is plentiful, but answers are few when those in Fort Worth's black community around the Butler housing projects and the Cobb Park area contemplate the deaths of 3 young women from January 7th to March 12th. The partially decomposed bodies of 3 young black women were found lying in secluded wooded areas within a 2¼ mile radius on the near south side. Wow. The dead women were identified as Jacqueline K. Jones, 21. Let's see where she lives. Okay, now I've got to do more now. Sorry, I had to cut my volume off to sneeze there. Jacqueline K. Jones. Let's see if she's been... Alright, 1532 East Haiti Street. So she lived right here. Wow. And that's pretty close where she lived to where this body was found. Where Angela was found. And Karen Annette Strong, 19. So let's put her in there. Karen. Oh, shit. She was found at 5113 Reed Street. So again, not really far away. That's where she lived. Perhaps most perplexing to authorities and relatives of the victims is that Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office has been unable to determine how the women died. Police and black leaders dismissed the notion of racially motivated killings. Several black groups will mount a poster drive Friday urging anyone with information about the deaths to call police or the Better Influence Association. The comments of Barbara Strong, the mother of one of the dead women, reflect the same frustration police encountered while investigating the cases. So that was all done in a 3-month period. There's nothing I really can do because there's nothing I know. Let's see. On January 7th, police answered a call from the Butler Housing Projects where 2 dogs were fighting over a human head in a yard at 1411 Stevenson Street. Jesus, are you kidding me? I think you know what? If my dog was fighting over a head, I'd get rid of the dog. I could never look at that dog again. I know it's not the dog's fault, but it's just, you know. So it was in the yard over here somewhere. Wouldn't you? Like if you had a dog and it was fighting over a head in the yard, would you keep it? I mean, that's a good moral question I might ask one of you people. Wait, you said you people?
What do you mean, you people? Oh, God, that's so, like mean. You just say you people.
Well, I just meant, the people watching the show right now. Don't you get it? Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, if I had a dog that came home with a head, I think I'd say, see you later, dog. Ask anybody else that might want it. Thank God, like a Chihuahua would have a hard time. Well, hell, that might even be worse, though. Could you imagine a Chihuahua dragging, like slowly trying to... Ugh, God, that'd be brutal. God, not me. I don't think I could do it. Like if I had a larger dog and it was wrestling over a head, I would struggle with it. I'm just being honest with you. I can tell right now. And I think you would struggle with it too, but being morally superior, you'll say, hell no, I think it'd be great, But I think if once you saw something like that, you probably wouldn't be able to unsee it. The next time your dog was licking your face, you might have a little bit of a problem with it. Well, I hate pit bulls, so good for you. I think pit bulls are the absolute worst dog that's ever been. I know that people that own them love them, though. Oh, wow, mine's the greatest. As a matter of fact, all pit bull owners say the same thing right before it kills somebody, or right after. They always say, man, it was such a great dog. It never even did a damn thing before that. And then everybody goes, oh, it's the owner. It's the trainer. It's the owner. Nope, that's not it. That's not it at all. Let's see. Officers later learned that Miss Jones had been missing. Let's see where they found that head, though. Hold on a second. Police followed one of the dogs to the badly decomposed body of Jacqueline Jones across the street from Carver Hamilton Elementary School at... Okay, now I got to change that again. So they found the head here. And let's see where the... Carver Hamilton Elementary School. Yeah, pit bulls blow, though. Yeah. They kill like 30, 35 people every year, maim many more. So, all right. I mean, it's cool that you have them, though. I just don't like them. I hope you don't get offended by that. I just think pit bulls are, I think they should be banned like they do in other countries. maybe grandfather that rule in or something like that. Let's see. So this is where Jacqueline QU. That's hard to remember how to spell QU. And everyone goes, "Oh, you're so naive. You don't really get it. You know, that's really ignorant." No, it really isn't. If you followed all the stories that I see, you probably think differently. Okay. Yeah, it used to be different dogs like Rottweilers, and there'd be 1 or 2 deaths a year, and Mastiffs and things like that, but Pit Bulls took that over. They really... Nah, it's just the Pit Bulls in general. Doesn't matter if they're inbred or anything like that. They're bred for fighting, right? That's what they do. Across the street from Carver Hamilton Elementary School at 120 East 12th. Okay, let me type that in. 1210 East 12th Street. Okay, so I guess right there is where her body was found. Somewhere over here, I guess. Across the street from Carver Hamilton Elementary School. Police found the body lying on its back, hidden by high grass and trees. So they're saying across the street. So maybe, I don't really know for sure. I think they were giving out the address of the middle school. And I don't know if it's a middle school anymore. Looks like it's a housing authority. Or maybe it is. Because it landed on that same building when I typed that in. So anyways, her body was found somewhere around in that area. And that was where Jacqueline's body was found. Across the street from Carver Hamilton Elementary School. Officers later learned that Miss Jones, so Angela Jones, had been missing since November. Wait, is there another Jones? Karen Annette Strong, Jacqueline Jones. Oh, and then, oh yeah, there's a Jacqueline Jones and Angela Jones. Okay. The medical examiner's office is still trying to determine the cause of death. Of course, we suspect foul play. This girl is 21 and in good health, supposedly, and you just don't get out and lie down in a field and die when you're 21. The body of Karen Annette Strong was found January 17th, lying at the bottom of a grassy ravine near... Oh well, hell, this is a little map right here we can check out. This will give us all we need to know. Let's see. So there's 12th Street, and they're saying, like right there, maybe like in that area. Then Karen Annette Strong. Okay. Continuing Education Center in the 800 block of Cypress Street. 1800 block. So let me go there. So it should be pretty close. Alright, does that look like what the map is saying? Cypress. That doesn't really look how they have that. 1800 Cypress Street. Well, I hope this isn't boring for you guys, but I'm just trying to work through this one. This is kind of what I do when I'm not doing the show. I try to get as much as I can on my own. I just don't talk out loud. I think that'd be weird if I was doing this talking to myself, right? Found January 17th, lying at the bottom of a grassy ravine near Terrell near Terrell. Where does it continue, though? Please see near the Terrell, grassy ravine near the Terrell, and then you go to see 3 deaths, and there it is right there, near the Terrell Continuing Terrell Continuing Education Center. Let me type that in. Terrell Continuing. Yeah. So she was found right there. Oh, but they have it on the other side of that highway. Is it like that? No, there it is. It's this cross and then another. Does 12th go over here? So if that's 12th, does it continue? What's this? So that's East 12th. 12th Street. It's not East. Okay, there's East 12th Street. So that should continue like 11th. Would that be 12th right there? That doesn't even have a name. Karen Annette Strong. Kind of struggling trying to find this one. But anyways, I'll just keep going. Just want to see what the connection might be. On February 23rd, Angela Lynette Jones was abducted from her apartment. That's one we talked about. Her body was found partly submerged in foot-deep water March 12th, about 40 feet off of the 2100 block of East Richmond Avenue. Her hand was gripping a large tree root. Wow. According to the medical examiner's office, Miss Jones had been dead from 8 days to 3 weeks when her body was found. The woman's mother, Brenda K. Brown, said her 16-year-old daughter, Cynthia Jones, saw 2 men carry her sister from their home while their mother was at work. Police said numerous witnesses told them they saw Miss Jones after the abduction. 2 of her classmates at Dunbar High School told police they saw Miss Jones on February 27th at a roller rink. Yeah, no way. A 15-year-old girl told police she saw Miss Jones playing pool March 3rd at Weldon Cafe. Miss Jones' mother is angry because she said police were slow to act on her report and that her daughter was abducted. Barbara Strong said her daughter Karen knew Angela Jones. So that's the other. So that means Barbara's child, the individual named Karen Annette Strong, she knew Angela Jones' family lived until recently. Let's see. The Strongs, who lived a short distance from where Angela Jones' family lived until recently, were dumbfounded when Karen's body was found. Wait, what does it say right here? Barbara Strong said her daughter Karen knew Angela Jones, but Miss Strong said she didn't care to know many of Karen's friends. The Strongs, who live a short distance from where Angela Jones' family lived until recently, were dumbfounded when Karen's body was found. We're still not over it, Miss Strong said. I think it's going to be quite some time. Karen, who dropped out of Polytechnical High School, had 2 children, 3 years old and 6 months old, said Miss Strong, who quit one of her jobs to care for her grandchildren. Ms. Strong said she often left Karen at home. Angela, whom Miss Strong knew by the name of Linnell, also visited Karen at home, she said. I'm pretty sure that she, Angela, was the one who was here, she said. Miss Strong said Cynthia Jones, Angela's sister, also knew Karen and signed a sympathy card after her death. Yeah, this is weird. It's sort of starting to remind me of the Lumberton case, but not for the same reason. It's just sort of like these people all knew each other. There's got to be a reason that all three of them were killed in a similar way. Don't you think? You guys still talking about dogs? Jesus. Yeah, I think if you have a small child and a pit bull, you should be put in prison. Yeah. All right, let's see. Miss Strong said she often left Karen at the Jones home. So those two people were friends, who Miss Strong knew by name. Linnell also visited Karen at home. However, Angela's mother said today Angela did not know Karen, nor did Cynthia. All of a sudden they changed that? The different lifestyles of the mother and daughter led became evident to Miss Strong. After Karen died. Wow, what a horrible sentence. After the funeral, Miss Strong said a man in his 50s driving a late model Lincoln Continental gave her a sympathy card signed with 14 unfamiliar names. He brought a card with two $50 bills in it and said it was from her friends. She said Miss Strong said she never heard from the man again. To help answer questions, wasn't that the same type of car that abducted Angela? Yeah, I don't mind. I'm telling you what I think. If you own a pit bull and you have children, I think it's crazy, okay? I don't really mean you should get put in prison. I just think it's ludicrous, okay? I mean, how do you not see that? I don't care. Oh, it's so gentle. It came up and it was just, it was licking my face and it was so great. Oh, wait, and then that one day it flips it around like a rag doll. Yeah. Wow, I didn't understand. It was so awesome before that. Well, Gray, that's the owner. The owner didn't train it correctly. Even though they all say exactly the same thing. They always say, man, it was the nicest dog I've ever seen. It never even growled at anybody. And then it just snapped. Yeah. Nah, they're not. Sorry. I know a lot of people that raise theirs just fine, and every article says the same thing. Christola S. It just they're really shitty dogs. I mean, well, there might be great dogs for people who own them, and they like them. But I think whenever I see a pit bull, I go to the other side of the street. And there's a reason when you're walking by a pit bull, a lot of times they have one of those muzzles on their mouth. Hey, but don't tell that story, Jesse C. Don't tell that story, okay? Because that means you're a pit bull hater and you're just a weirdo. Yeah, I've always said the same thing about pit bulls. So if you're somebody out there that's a big pit bull owner and you're a PETA wacko that thinks PETA is the greatest place in the world, you know, and remember, the one time I defended Obama my entire life was when he swatted a fly. And he said, hey, do you see how quickly I killed that fly? And PETA said, well, I mean, a fly is, you know, shut up, PETA, okay? It's a freaking fly, for God's sakes. Let me ask you something, PETA people. When you're walking down the street to go to work, you know, are you looking down at where your feet are stepping? How many ants did you kill, you monster? Hey, thanks, Karen Conger. Yes, and you too can be a channel member and have access to all of the really cool emojis. Yeah, they're looking down at the ground, making sure that they don't hit any ants. And we always thought they were walking that way because they were listening to music, right? You know, that weird sort of backstep, moonwalk, little boom, boom, going over this way, that way. I always thought they were listening to music. I think that's what they're doing. They put earphones on, but they're not listening to anything. But they want to make people think they are as they dodge all of the different bugs that might be on the ground. God, that's amazing. Good job, PETA. Fish are people too. No, they're a fish, you idiot. Okay. Yeah, okay. Anyways, wasn't a Lincoln the type of car that they saw at Angela Jones's house? I thought they said that. All right, so let's see, Richmond. Where's Richmond Street? Oh yeah, fish are great. Yeah, right there. So this is where Angela was found. That's where Angela Jones. That's where. Okay, that's exactly where I have it. Okay, and then we have the 12th Street right here. Right there. Okay, yep, they have that on there. I think a lot of this stuff is new. Let me go back in time. Ah, shoot. How about even further? 1984. I see that you drew that there, but yeah, I can kind of make it out. So right there, and then apparently they have this angular street here. See that? Like this thing? Cypress. And it seems like it's really close to where this one is. So maybe it's... Okay, I see. It's like that. So a Cypress Street right in here. Does that exist? Well, I'm almost positive they've got it right inside this little area. Looks like right here, kind of. That's Chambers. I don't see Cypress Street there. Oh, well, there you go. And does that go this way? Yeah, so somewhere down in here. Yeah, I think these got to be related. These 3 months. That time I pronounced the TH. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so here's where it was ruled a homicide by asphyxiation. The death of 17-year-old Angela Linnell Jones, whose body was found March 12th in a secluded field, has been ruled a homicide by Tarrant County Medical Examiner Office. The cause of death was ruled asphyxiation due to drowning. Oh, I didn't know drowning. Wouldn't they just say drowning? I mean, I know that. I don't know. I've never seen it. Asphyxiation. I guess what it could mean is that somebody held her down underwater intentionally, making it so that she couldn't breathe. So I've never seen those two words at the same time, but maybe what they're saying is like asphyxiation, I think, implies a human caused her not to be able to breathe, and the water was what kept her from breathing. Kind of like covering somebody's mouth with a pillow or something. You know, that'd be suffocation, I guess, but it's still asphyxiation, I guess. I don't know. Let's look it up. That doesn't. The state of process of being deprived of oxygen, which can result in unconscious or death. Okay, there you go. So she was held down, deprived of oxygen in the water. She probably drowned, but it wasn't an accidental drowning. She was asphyxiated using water. Okay, that's how I would look at it. Right. Well, but it's odd that you would. I've never seen drowning. I mean, dying from water being referred to as asphyxiation. But I guess it makes sense. You don't hear it too often. I guess like if someone is held down in a bathtub, they'd say the cause of death was asphyxiation by drowning, perhaps. You know. A ruling pending on the cause of death of 21-year-old Jacqueline Jones, who was found January 7th. Karen Annette Strong, 19, died of respiratory failure induced by an undetermined cause. Huh. An office spokesman said. Well, that sounds similar, you know. We have received a small amount of additional information as a result of the publicity. Well, let me go back to that cold cases. Are they on here too? So that's weird. I mean, Angela Jones is on here, but they don't seem to have the other ones. Why not? Were they solved? Interesting. Crazy. I think there's another killer, though, in that area. 3 young black females within a 3-month period, all within a 2.5-mile radius, with their bodies discarded. I don't know. Maybe they solved the other 2, though. I don't know. But they do seem related. Is there really 553 people watching right now? It's hard to say. It's hard to tell. Maybe they're just all lurking. Maybe they're pit bull owners, angry at what I said as they pet their pit bull, wondering what letter they can write to the... Gray, it's really about education. You need to learn more. I think if...
Gray, I have a pit bull. Why are you so mean to pit bulls? Mine bit my arm off, but I was able to sew it back on again. It was just lovable after that. It was great. It was weird seeing it wiggle my arm around after it chewed it off, but after that it was amazing.
Wow. Are you kidding me, Mary Lou?
Yeah, I was just joking. Yeah, boy.
Wow.
Yep, so mean, so mean. I don't know. It was too late. She was decomposed, Rebecca. I don't think you could see much anymore. It's 3 weeks later. Good one, Zozo. Zozo said after my last joke, you gotta hand it to her. You gotta hand it to her. There you go. Good one, Zozo. Good one. All right, see you later, Jenny Penny. And then I'm supposed to say,
okay, bye.
Great.
Hey, you're so mean.
Yep, that's right.
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
You know what's funny is I played that to John Lorden today. He laughed at it. Yo, listen to this. This is what Cairo did. Look at this shit. Yeah. Chewbacca? Oh, man. What's better than that, huh? Why, when you were right, they call you mean? I don't know. They call me mean because they know that there's people out there that think that that's mean. Like it's like if you point out the fact that pit bulls kill people, like 30 plus people a year in the United States, and maim and severely injure many, many more than that, that somehow you're being mean and you just don't understand the situation. But in reality, I do. I just, you can just see it, right? It's not like... And yes, I know that there's a whole bunch of people out there that own pit bulls, and they're great dogs for them. And they haven't done anything, and they might not ever do anything. There's a good chance they won't. Yeah, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah, pugs are great. They can't breathe very well, but they're pugs are those dogs that are so ugly they're cute. You know what I mean? Got that little smashed face in, and they're like, you know. Not even sure how they sleep at night, to be honest. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was just thinking. Yeah, I like pugs. We're just, we're overfeeding Chloe right now because she was so skinny. I mean, literally, I feed her as much as I can. I'll chew up chicken and go, okay, here, you eat the rest. Like this whole mouthful, I let her eat it. Eat. We have to put on, I mean, so check it out. Like she weighs like 3.5 pounds. She needs to weigh like 4.5. So that'd be like somebody weighing, I mean, God, that'd be almost like weighing 100 pounds and putting on 30 or something, you know? Yeah, so we're just letting her eat anything. She gets really finicky, though. She'll go up to a plate of food, look at it, and then look back up to you and say, "You can do better," and then walks away in disgust. Right, Chloe? Come here, Chloe. Come here, buddy. Yeah, there she is. You walk away in disgust. See, she's still little, but she's starting to weigh more. I can feel it. Her ribs aren't quite as, what do you call, oh yeah, let's try to do the Chewbacca sound right now. I think it'll work. Watch.
Chewbacca?
Chewbacca?
Oh, I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
You like it? Anyways, that's Chloe right there. She's so little. Yeah, I mean, I feed her. We try to feed her where she's stuffed every day. Yeah. I can't do that sound. I did a better one yesterday, right? Like it was close. Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be.
Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to be.
There we go. Hey. There you go. Mary Lou and John Boy were able to negotiate and do that. Hey, thanks, Meredith McKinsey. Wow, thank you. Well, you guys want? How about this? You guys can ask me questions for the next 20 minutes. All right, we got 20 minutes left. I'll only answer ones that I can answer. That should be well, it's going to be 1 penny short of a cat eye. Oh, you should donate $50.01. Thank you. Not that you, I pretty much tell you guys everything, anyways. But if you want to ask me something random, go ahead. Am I really so mean? I don't know. What do you think? I've never been told I sound like that. A couple random people like you have said it. I don't think I sound like Norm Macdonald at all. He's more like, hey, you know, I'm kind of like that. That's how Norm Macdonald talks. I have a Subaru. You hate the cat eye? Come on. Well, thank you. Everyone loves the cat eye. Yeah, Norm Macdonald, he kind of has a more nasally sound, I think. Huh? It's on Cairo's. I'm not sure what you call. What's the name of his channel? He'd have to put the link in there. I don't have a link just sitting around. I usually get it like a notification. Does anybody have a link to it? You guys should go sub over there. He always puts out, you know, not always, but every so often, little funny little clips from his travels. Oh, my favorite band. Well, Simon and Garfunkel were always my favorite singers. I'm not sure you call that a band or not. There's some out there I really like that some people don't, like Squeeze, you know. It's weird. Squeeze was kind of way ahead of their time because they started in '79 and some of their stuff is, I mean, it's just totally unique. It doesn't sound like anybody else. Lilu Lee? What does that mean? Jesus. Freddie Mercury fan? Yep, there are smallmouth bass in the Willamette River. Yeah, that's one of the popular ones. I like some of their other ones. I do. Britney Spears is great. 2 cents. Right, yeah. I know 2 cents owns about 5 pit bulls, so she probably didn't like my what I was saying a minute ago. What's my favorite city? Jeez, I don't know. You know, I did like when I was in Ireland. I went to Killarney. That was just amazing. But I've never really thought about rating cities. I hate Portland though. Portland's an embarrassment. I've been to New York. When we were kids, we actually took our parents, you know, as foolishly as it was, they drove us from Portland all the way to New York in a van. So I learned all the jokes of was it Steve Martin, and then Willie Horton songs, and the Joseph and the Technicolor Coats musical. Yeah, we got it all down. Yeah, not Austin. Yeah, and of course that's where they're having CrimeCon. Yeah, it was a nightmare. Yeah. Yeah, absolute nightmare. One of the jokes that I'm not going to say it very well, but Steve Martin said they were up skiing. I don't know. I don't remember the joke. It was something about how he thought the people in front of him last names were rental, because that's what he saw on the bottom of the skis. But it was told better than what I just did, obviously. I watch Supernatural every once in a while. Just like I've probably seen 10 episodes, but it's been on for like 40 years, so it must be a good show. And it's weird because the one guy, he looks the same for 20 years, and then the other kid, he just gets older and older, man, losing his hair and shit like that. It's pretty funny. I don't know if he's a vampire. What do you mean, vampire? Oh, would be able to predict the future. Man, how great would that be? Well, not predict, I mean know the future, right? Jeez, it'd be phenomenal. I mean, I'd be just jumping all over the stock market. And my favorite sport's NBA basketball. The thing is somebody up about authors. I read a lot of articles. I don't read a lot of books, you know. And then the books I do read are just sort of, you know, to learn about something. I just read a lot of articles and that kind of thing. I don't really have time to do the leisurely, just sort of reading a book for fun. It's always got to be part of something. Because I mean, all these shows that I do, I have to do, takes me hours. Well, I just played it for you. That's all you need to care about. The audio from it. Huh? I used to always say green was my favorite color, but I don't really have one. If I was going to eat another dog, what would it be? Wow. What kind of a question is that, Rebecca? Obviously a Pomeranian, though. If you would just... I'm just kidding. I have actually owned 3 Pomeranians. Yeah.
How dare you say owned? They are creatures too. You can't own a pet.
Okay, I appreciated living with another dog, 3 different Pomeranians. I mean, see, you can't, the thing is you can't have like legitimate conversation. But the movie Alive, right? Where that soccer team or whatever, they crashed up in the Andes and then they started eating the dead passengers after a while because they were so hungry. Right? Do you guys remember that movie? Well, it's not even just a movie. It really happened. They actually... they were condemned by all the people in town, but the Catholic leaders forgave them, and then all the people forgave them too. Yeah, well, let me ask you this. If there was a dog that was still living, would you have eaten the dog before the dead humans that were there? Just put I'm just making you think right here. So if there was a dog that was still alive, like let's say a German Shepherd, would you have taken out the German Shepherd and fed it to all of them first, or would you eat the people first? Yeah, see, that's one of those questions. Fiber Sleuth says no because she's morally superior to everybody. But in reality, what would you do? I doubt it. Unless if it wasn't your dog, you would definitely take out the animal first. There's no chance that. I mean, everybody who says that are just the moral superiority types, Well, the Delphi case always sticks with me the most. Yeah. Yeah, well, the people are already dead, but they're also, it's like eating, it's just so foreign to eat another person, right? Where some countries actually eat dogs. I think it's ridiculous and disgusting. But I definitely, if it was my dog, I wouldn't want somebody to kill it to eat it before the human. I don't know, man. It's such a crazy question, though, right? Definitely one of those things. It's hard to imagine. Okay, how about this? If, let's say there was a live dog, and then somebody took it upon themselves to kill the dog, and now you had a choice between the dogs and the humans, which one would you pick? So if somebody else just, without you knowing, went up and killed the dog. Now there is a dead dog and there's dead humans, but you weren't responsible for killing the dog itself. Right, well, see, there, okay, come on. That's bullshit, Jackie. You're making shit up now. And for example, here we go. Let's say that when the plane crashed, a dog died in the plane crash with the humans. How many of you would eat the dog before any of the humans in that scenario? Wouldn't all of you? The soon-to-be dead human for killing the dog. Okay. Right. So then doesn't that mean in your mind that the dog itself is a little lower on the level of humans, right? Because in that scenario, everybody would eat the dog first over the human. everybody who's logically thinking and being honest, right? So everybody would eat the dog first. So that means you are saying that the dog isn't equivalent to human life, right? And so that's when I always say, if any one of you, okay, so every one of you should be really happy to be near me if you happen to be trapped in a fire and my dog is trapped in the fire with you. Because I'll save you first, then I'll try to save my actual dog that I actually, I care about a lot, But any one of you, though, if I met you and my dog, let's see, and you were burning, I would save the human first, every time. Does that make me bad? Yeah, you love your dog, though, but wouldn't you save the human first? See, these are those crazy moral questions, right? Yeah. Well, I might save you, you guys would probably be, I would think of you guys first over the, just a random person, because you're part of the freak family, right? So I guess I care about you guys, obviously. But it wouldn't matter, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Is, like, even the random people that show up here, if I bumped into, if they were being burned in a fire and I could save them or my dog, I'd pick the human. Yeah, like that song that Phil Collins wrote. Like, I don't know if it's called Something in the Air Tonight or something like that. I thought that was what that was about at one point. Like, he could have saved somebody, but he knew who the person was, and they... Yes, even that guy. Yeah. See that, you guys? I make you guys think of interesting sort of moral dilemma questions, right? They're things that I think about. They're kind of almost philosophical in a way, You have to sort of, really think through it. Like the ones we've had on the nights. See, on this channel, we've actually done the taboo topics, like abortion and things like that. It's weird, but we actually can do it on this channel in a rational way where people start thinking to themselves about just certain scenarios and how they would think about that, so there you go. Huh? Tornado drills with your dogs? That's pretty funny. Oh, I would eat roaches in 2 seconds. Over getting burned on 50% of my body. Are you kidding me? Jeez. I'd snack on them and with a smile instead of getting burned over 50% of my body. Jeez, are you kidding? Yeah, it's not like that anymore, Jesse C. It's just a truth out there that on, in the left-leaning teachers' world, that they are teaching intolerance. The funny thing is they always say that they're teaching tolerance, but it's actually intolerance. It's only tolerant if you believe exactly what they want you to believe, and if you don't believe that, you are ostracized and intolerant. So here's what I wish everybody on the left would fight back that what do you call it? That belief structure. You should all be fighting against it, just like the media. They're one-sided, completely biased, and I just don't know how anybody tolerates that and likes it. It's scary to me. They say bullies are bad, then they try to... Yeah, right. Oh, good for you, Rebecca. Good for you. What do you mean you love being? That's such a ridiculous comment for somebody to say. I absolutely love being pro-choice. What a ridiculous comment there. Jesus. Let's see. There's such a thing as agree to disagree at schools these. Yeah, well the thing is I'm not a big fan of the agree to disagree thing when there is a truth. You know, yeah, it is a dumb comment. It's just sort of like being really excited about it. Yeah. Yeah, so it's yeah, the thing is there are truths out there, and what sucks is when somebody can't believe the truth and then they say, well, let's just agree to disagree, when it's not even an opinion. Like if I said, hey, 2 + 2 = 4, and they go, no, it's 3. Well, can't we just agree to disagree? No, we can't. I'm going to fight to the end that 2 + 2 is 4. Well, Gray, in my world, 2 is just a variable, and it's actually equivalent to 1.5. And when you add them two together, there you go. Yeah, well, see, that's what a lefty says, Rebecca. Your comment right there. I dislike pro-lifers. I have to unfriend them. Ooh, I can't be friends with somebody who doesn't want to kill. Okay. You sound like an idiot. She says, I dislike them. I don't dislike anybody who's pro-life. I don't dislike anybody that's pro-choice. I just like having a conversation about it. Now, you sound like a crazy person, okay? Okay, you just sound like a crazy person. How do you all of your comments, I love being pro-choice. What does that mean? That's weird almost. Do you sit around and like have parties for pro-choice people? I mean, that's great and everything that you're pro-choice, but I mean, I love being that. You hate pro-lifers? Weird, very weird. Yeah. So hey, there's people there. So I'll do my scenarios again for the people listening. Here we go. How about this one for you, Rebecca? How about this one? There's a woman walking down the street. Let's say she's walking down the street and she's, let's say, 4 months pregnant, right? 4 months pregnant. And a mugger, comes up to her, punches her in the stomach, doesn't know she's pregnant because she's not really showing, punches her in the stomach and takes the purse. Okay? And everybody gets outraged in that scenario. Oh my God! And they freak out. Do you think that the mugger in that case should get any extra time at all after he's arrested for the theft of the purse, but he actually killed the baby that she had inside of her? Do you think, no, let me ask you something. Do you think in that scenario that the mugger should get any extra time at all? I'm just waiting for Rebecca to answer that one. Should the mugger get any extra time after he punched the pregnant? Well, okay, so Rebecca says it's okay to do that. She's saying no, he shouldn't get any extra time. Okay, because it wasn't a life, all right? It wasn't anything at that point. But see, but I actually respect that answer, because that means she's literally, that is how you factually have to believe if you're a pro-choice person. Okay? You really do. Because she says it was only a fetus at that point. Right. But if you notice, there's a lot of people who get really upset at the death of the fetus inside the woman, because she wanted to have the child and the mugger took away. Now, are they upset at the death of the baby, or that they took away the right of the woman being able to have the child? What are they upset about? Are they upset that the mugger killed the child, or are they upset that she just can't have it now? What is the answer to that question? See, I think it's important to go through these steps right here. What are people upset about when the mugger kills that baby that she has inside of her? Because he didn't even know she was pregnant, right? Now, so nobody cares about the baby itself, just that the fact that the woman wanted it, and now she doesn't get to have it, right? Is that it? Yeah. So how about this? How about this one? So let's say that same woman was pregnant. Let's say the woman that the mugger punched in the stomach and didn't know she was pregnant was actually headed towards an abortion clinic at that very moment. Does that change? Okay, well then, okay, it's okay then. Yeah, I mean, it was going to happen anyway. See, you notice how all of a sudden your mentality changes? And a lot of times the people get out of it by saying, they make this comment. Watch, they'll say, well, she could have changed her mind. Listen, be honest with yourself, okay? All of a sudden, as soon as you found out, the story was a big story. Oh, wow, this mugger killed her. What a monster. And then you say, and then as soon as somebody says, well, you know what, she was actually on her way to abort that child, then immediately they'd go, oh, okay, all right. Just like that. It's wild, isn't it? And then let's say this. Let's say she goes into the abortion clinic, doesn't get mugged at all, and she aborts the child. Well, she went in there and did it intentionally, right? Where the mugger didn't even know that she was pregnant, right? So the mugger didn't even know she was pregnant at all when he punched her. So his is just, wow, it's like an accident. He didn't even know it. But she goes in there, aborts that very same child, and now it's okay to do it, even though she chose to do it. See, that's where those are those weird philosophical ideas that you got to sort of think through and go, And then a lot of times I like to make sure that people don't throw in the, well, it's a woman's right to choose, because that's sort of the out. I'm glad that none of you have thrown that in there. Yeah. I mean, it's just an interesting story, because here's what the reality is. A baby's life is only worth something if to a lot of people if the woman wants to have it. It's a meaningless life unless the woman desires to have the kid, right? And so that's just sort of where it's at. So it's the right to choose. That's where that term comes from. So there you go. All right, some interesting theories. I think that you should have to, I think it should have to be in the first trimester. Or if there is some, like if, again, the whole rape, incest kind of stuff like that. I don't think anybody should have to have a child from being raped. I mean, that's just like a freaking nightmare, So, I'm just trying to throw out the, just make you think about stuff, Didn't that make you think a little bit like, hey, well, that is interesting, right? Like the outrage people felt when she got punched because she wanted to have it. She had a crib at home, a mobile swinging around. She was getting all ready for it. But as soon as you add into the story, oh, well, she was actually headed towards a clinic to abort the child, then all of a sudden your mind just goes, oh, okay, well, shit. I guess, it's not anything at this point because she was going to... Well, that's weird, right? That means you're not assigning any relevance to the actual aborted child, right? So isn't that interesting, right? Yeah, I've had that one before too. Well, that's where I come up with the rules about child support. I think that this is going to sound really controversial and shitty to some of you, but I actually think that men, if they don't want to have the child, let's say they have unprotected sex, just like the woman did too, and he didn't want to have it, but he gets out, it's just as much his child as it is hers, but he doesn't get to have an abortion. So maybe there should be something out there where they can sign a paper that completely, it's like a legal abortion where he says, I do not want this child, I never get to visit the child, and he's completely has no responsibility whatsoever financial either, right? That's it. And then if the woman wants the child, she gets to raise the child and it's hers and she can do whatever she wants. So it's kind of a interesting, and it sucks too because a man can't force a woman to have a child if he wants it, but she didn't. So that's the only way to make it fair. Yeah, it's not going to ever happen. I'm just saying that's the only way to make it fair, though. Yeah, but it shouldn't be that she has to agree. I think it should just be something guys can do. Then it would avoid a lot of the anger and violence that shows up out there, too. No, I don't think the taxpayers. I think a woman then would have to decide, hey, can I don't know. It's one of those crazy things out there. Because here's what it doesn't make sense, right? When a man has to pay child support, it's usually just some ungodly number compared to, and some men don't pay it, right? But it's just this big number. And they have to count it as a debt, like as if it was a credit card bill. So if they make $4,000 a month and a woman makes $4,000 a month, and he has to pay $1,000 of child support, her income is now $5,000 because it's actually income, and his now is a debt of $1,000 on top of the $4,000. So now it's like a quarter of his income is gone. It's wild. Yeah, like if they're out to get a loan. I don't know if it's changed. I just remember that's what it was when I was a mortgage when I was in the mortgage industry, like in 1991. It was ridiculous. It's like, shouldn't that just be what he would have spent had they stayed together? See, that's how I wish it was. It should just be that the amount that he has to pay is just money he would have spent had they been commingling the money living together, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the man and the woman both know the risks doing that. Yeah, that does happen though, Sarita, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyways, those are the ones we've talked about before, so I thought I'd bring them up again. Yeah, well, I also don't think people should be able to adopt children unless they are fully capable financially of adopting that child. There should be no state funding for anybody who adopts a child. Right? So if you adopt a child, there should be zero state funding of any kind. I can see it when you're a foster parent, it's different because that's sort of what you're doing. The state's helping you pay for being able to take care of the kid. But if you adopt a kid, like in the Hart family case, that's kind of where really hardened my beliefs on that, because in the Hart family case, all 6 of those kids were adopted from Texas, where Texas pays out just an ungodly amount of money for each child until they're 18 years old, even when they're adopted. It was ludicrous. The Hart family, they were making, God, what was it, like $6,000 a month or something? I mean, it was just insane. Even more, I think. And they were living high on the hog, literally, man. Those 2 were just getting fed, and the kids got nothing. Yeah, I mean, I think foster parents are doing great things, you know. I'm not really a big fan of the, you know, Child Protective Services sometimes. They make really, really idiotic decisions sometimes. Especially in that Hart case. God, what a joke some of that shit was. That's what you should fight against, Too Short, over there in Texas, is that paying out all that money for adopted children. I mean, how did they qualify at that point? Well, we don't have any money, state, but we'd love to adopt. If you could just send us money every month, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, no, that's exactly right, Christola. That happens. I mean, in the Hart family case, one of them was with a good mom. It was like the grandmother. And then the mother wasn't supposed to have be around, but I guess she would babysit when the grandmother was at work trying to make money to be able to, you know, she couldn't just stay at home. So then they took that child from them and gave him to the Hart family, where they got no food whatsoever and were just used as sort of like these little political utopian kids. It was disgusting. Anybody that ever supports the Hart family, Sarah and Jennifer, of any kind, with any positive words, should be shunned and avoided. Man, that sucks, Zozo. Yeah, well, the Hart family didn't have to do it. You should look up that case. It's crazy. They got money every month. Yeah. Well, anyways, you guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna go get ready for go to sleep. You know what's a good show? Do you guys ever watch that show Hannah on Amazon Prime? It's pretty good. I've watched all the seasons of it. This one's the best one so far. I haven't seen all of them. There's a couple more to go, I think. They may have been. I think they claimed that they were. Well, I don't know. I don't think all of them were disabled. I don't know. You should look it up. I know a couple of them they claimed were, but it was more from malnutrition. Thanks, Dario. I always like those little images she puts out. Look at that. What song is that little creature humming there, Dario Caspian Horses Rock? Yeah, I think they got extra for that. But a couple of kids for sure weren't disabled. You know, like Devontae, he was pretty normal. They were all minority children, though. So I'm sort of wondering if that was part of it. Yes, well, just don't be so gleeful, Rebecca, and hateful of people who don't agree with you on that topic. But hey, cool. I love being... Yeah, it's just such a weird... Is that what it's doing? No, I was talking to the other one, Rebecca. There's another Rebecca. Rebecca N. There's a Rebecca Green up there. That one, not you. Come on, Rebecca N. Wow, that case was a nightmare, though. No, she was, Rebecca. Sorry. She said, "I hate pro-lifers." That's exactly what that's saying, right? That's hateful, okay, Rebecca? So try to read what people say sometimes. I think that is a pretty hateful statement. To say I hate pro-lifers and I love being... That's weird. So that is what that is. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah. So I don't hate or dislike anybody. That whatever opinion you have, great. I just like having conversations that we can just talk about. Me too, 2 cents. Me too. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Well, see, nobody's going to hate you, though, Charlene. I think it's weird for people to hate pro-life people. It's like they're sort of on the, I think, a higher nobility side, right? Like, literally, they don't want to, you know, it's not some technicality thing. Well, it's not my right to... It's weird, though. They're demonized, you know, like they're turned into some kind of crazy people by the media. It's really bizarre, you know. I think they have a higher moral stance. And with that being said, I don't dislike anybody I don't dislike somebody who's pro-choice, you know. You guys have your right to have a choice. It's opposite of what we believe. We ain't hypocrites over here. Yep. That's right. Why do I hate you? What? How ironic was that, 2 cents? You might have to come on one of these days, 2 cents. We'll still put your name 2 cents below your picture. She meant a different Rebecca Ann. We don't really normally get more than one Rebecca in here. Yeah. And see, I like bringing up these topics so that make people, you know, all the things that we talked about. You know, I've brought this same exact scenarios up many different times. You know, I just like making people think outside of their normal comfort zone, just accepting something. And then you might think, God, that is weird. I mean, you know, would I eat the dog before the... Yeah. I might have to start coming up with more, like a whole list of these thoughts. See what people come up with. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys all for showing up tonight. Thank you to Kit Kat, Audio Caspian Horses Rock, What's Her Face for a cat eye-ish donation, 1 penny short. Cindy Lean, Kevin Brown, Jackie Blue, Jackie Blue, Caddy Corner, Zozo, Pamela Denise, Kubi, Lee D, Michelle Nicholas, Daudio Caspian Horses Rock, Kevin Brown, Darlene White, Tracy, Daudio Caspian Horses Rock, Karen Conger, Meredith McKenzie, just short of the cat eye, but she hates cat eye donation sound, so makes it 1 penny short. Daudio Caspian Horses Rock. Then, on, oh, there we go. And, Debbie, and Maureen, or Maureen, let's see. Hold on. And, Doris, all on PayPal, so thank you guys very much. I usually put a bonus from that into the donations at the end of the month. So we've already donated $500 this month so far, early for the Blue Lives. That was the I think Wounded Blue Fund. Okay. So police lives matter too, everybody. In fact, yeah, I don't know if you guys heard this. You guys hear this? On TNT, Charles Barkley and Shaq, they both said, hey, listen, you can't defund the police. And Barkley even said, listen, I mean, when the police went into that house, one of the officers got shot. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. Oh, my God, they got lambasted. I mean, how dare they use logic and reason in a conversation? Oh, those bastards. Yes, that's right. And everybody, make sure that you keep wearing your masks, maintaining your social distancing, and washing your hands whenever possible. Okay? I think it actually works. All those things. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen another human other than my wife since my surgery. I'm actually going to remodel my studio with paper mache up on the ceilings and everything to make it look exactly like a cave, and have moss hanging down from the ceiling and everything. It's gonna be great. Maybe some ivy, whatnot. Anyways, listen, everybody, thank you all for showing up. To ask those to please pray for my son. Almost a year, he's getting out on the 29th. Oh, well, let's pray for Daudio Caspian Horses Rock son, who will be getting out of jail on the 29th. And he must have been in there for drinking. He must have done, I don't know what he did or anything like that, but yes, have him stay away from alcohol. Yeah, that's right. 2 cents. Daudio Caspian Horses Rock. You know, I've never actually just thought to, so you must like Caspian horses. Really, Gray? Is that what you've discerned after all these years? You finally... Yeah. Yep, figured it out. All right, everybody. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow. Obviously, we do shows every single freaking day. I would feel weird not doing one. I'd feel like I had to be somewhere, But I am going to have a guest on here, probably on Monday. I'll post a community post with the police. She knows she's working on this one particular case, and she can go over it with us all. It'll be awesome. She's actually been a police officer and everything. So she's really good. I met her at CrimeCon. I think the one year before this last one that never happened. Hint of who? Oh, you mean like who I would meet with? Let's see. Okay, so maybe it'll be Sarah Kaline. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She's on HLN a lot as a guest, and she's produced television shows, and she's been on the shows herself. Yeah, so I'll post a community link so you can see her Twitter page, and then her the case that she'll talk about. I think the show might actually end up being earlier, so it'd have to be like earlier in the day. Yeah. So hold on a second. Yeah, so I was just responding to her. So she goes to bed a lot earlier, like at 8 o'clock her time, which is 5 my time. So we'd have to actually do the show probably like at 3 or something. So I don't know how many people would be watching that live, unless you're on the East Coast maybe. But that's what it'll be. However it works is how it works. Maybe people in Europe will be excited about it. All right, everybody. I'm going to end the show now, and I'm going to play my rap. I'm not going to do a flyby, though. I just want to do the rap. All right, everybody? So everybody, wash your hands. Mask. Social distancing. Do it. It works. All right, everybody. That's it for the show tonight. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Wait, maybe I should do, hold on. I want to do the Art Bell sound. I haven't done that in a long time. Hold on a second. There we go, there we go, there we go. I'll do my best radio impersonation of Art Bell. Art Bell. From the green forests in the Pacific Northwest, I bid you all good evening, or good morning as the case may be. Tonight we have on Major Ed Dames, a remote viewer who can see almost anything if you give him a chance. We're also going to have on Edgar C. Mitchell. I don't even know his name anymore. I can't remember the Yeah! Yeah, what is the other one? No, I can't remember. Who's the guy that went through the moon all the time? Mitchell. No, Edgar C. Mitchell was an astronaut. And the moon guy is, hell, I can't remember. But anyways, it was great having you on tonight. Thank you very much. And good evening and welcome to the Kingdom of Nine. Woo! Yeah! Good evening and welcome. Alright, everybody, that's it for the show tonight. Until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole
True
time,
crime! Hey, that's right, true crime! Yay!
that is a crime gonna get ya on a stretcher
If you're trying to kill me like an old projector.
Crime sector! is my nectar. Professor Green is gonna give another lecture.
Hey, not bad, not too bad there, Mary Lou.
And I'm always gonna be a pup protector.
Full deflector.
Interceptor.
And I mean a little spectre with a vector. Or inspector. With a respector.
Just remember, I've a temple fucking checked ya.
I have no agenda.
I'm the pretender.
And I give it to you straight without the
blender.
What's its
And in the end,
servitude?
I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
Wow, that's awesome. Man, did you see that? 2 cents. She says he dances like that all the time.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it.
Well, Lori's a pretty good dancer, don't you think there, John Boy?
Well, you know, if you like Lori, sure.
Well, I mean, just in general. Well, that was actually, it's just a 3D dance. It's not really her, okay? Well, anyways, hey, listen, John Boy, you have yourself a great evening. Good job singing there.
Wait, you didn't think that was good? That seemed like a sarcastic whistle there.
Well, it was a little bit sarcastic because you really weren't that good at the rap.
Oh, you're so mean, Mary Lou.
Wow, was that actually a cry? It's supposed to sound like this.
Well, that is a little bit better. Good night, Mary Lou.
Good night, John Boy. Gee.
Wow, what a bunch of wackos those two are. I tell you what, man. I don't think those two are just ever going to be able to just say as simple as this. Good night, John Boy. And then John Boy says, good night, Mary Lou. And it's just, that's it, right?
Well, what makes you think we'll never be able to do that? Hey,
Listen, I didn't tell you to keep talking now, okay? Yeah, maybe the next show you guys can give that a shot. All right, everybody? Yes, a bunch of wackadoodles. All right, everybody. Be safe out there. Crime Secta is my... Oh, wait. You guys are still here? Okay, bye.